What's going on, Fast Turn Radio watchers, listeners, replay catchers, gompers? What's up? I know you're not in the chat room, but you're doing that RA and busting butt to clean up the deals while they're out there. I saw you shoot a message to me, so I appreciate that. We are joined tonight, right now, and I say right now because anybody is welcome, and I hope we actually get a good group of people just kind of talking about this stuff. But we are joined by Alan Underkoffler and Jerry Siegel. And Alan, you live in an apartment, is that right?
No.
You're in a house.
I'm in a house. I got the 2-car garage converted to a full warehouse at this point.
Okay, you're spoiled.
I'm trying to make room, like push the kayaks out of the way, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to ditch some bicycles, I think. But then the complete other end of the spectrum. So, we're in houses, 2-car garages. Someone may step up to a warehouse, but kind of on the whole other side of this thing is Jerry, who doesn't have a house. Or, well, he does. He drives it from location to location, right?
Yeah, I've got a 37-foot fifth wheel with an 8x10 garage in the back. That's our office.
Very nice. So you are 100% on the road. You don't have a place you call home other than what you're driving.
That's absolutely correct.
What's the 8x10 garage? Like a trailer that you're pulling?
It's a toy hauler. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
Yeah, toy hauler RVs have a garage in the back. It's 8x10.
Nice.
That's
cool. Still not much room for inventory. It comes in and goes right back out again.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, let's get right into that. Just in general, what kind of inventory are you doing?
We're doing mostly OA right now, and we're starting to work with larger lots, anywhere from single pallets on up. Right at the moment, though, we're just paying the bill to get our truck fixed. So, we don't go for becoming a mega seller or anything, not like Duane. We just keep the bills paid and pay for the fuel and just have a good time on the road. Mostly right now what we're doing are oddball stuff, some musical instrument stuff, Behringer, whatever they are, mixers. I don't know if you're familiar with those. We've done some of those recently and that kind of stuff. But it's and we're doing more of having the supplier shipped straight to Amazon for us, prep and ship for us. So we don't see anything in the trailer anymore. We're trying not to anyway.
Yeah, prep and ship companies have become very prevalent in the last 6 months. I mean, they've just exploded out of nowhere, where John Bullard and his team were basically the only ones I knew doing it maybe a year ago. And now there are a lot of options, and it's serving a great purpose. I mean, it is wonderful for a person like you, people overseas that are trying to get into Amazon. It's amazing that you can order something and have it shipped to one of these prep companies. It gets sent to Amazon on your behalf, and you never touch it. I mean, that's powerful. Now, the trick is to find the stuff that is high enough margin to make the numbers work. But
it's always a great day when you have 300 or 400 or 500 units going to Amazon and you never saw them.
Yeah,
it's a great day.
Yeah, the best one I've been able to do is just direct ship from the manufacturer. That I love. It's like, you make it or you import it, maybe a wholesaler. But yeah, you did the importing and then you just simply send it for me. That'd be great. Thanks. And I've had a few of them that do that. So, there are a lot of ways to work this business. And Jerry, you kind of, you just breezed over it, but I think it's a very important point that whether you called me a mega seller, which is ridiculous, but there are people doing in a month what I am trying to do in a year. But the reality is you're doing exactly what you want to do, and therefore it's perfect. Nobody should think I need to sell $1 million a year to achieve somebody else's vision. Set your own goals, know what you want out of this business, and then go do it. And that's success. I mean, that's what very few of us take time to do, is define what success is. And I love the fact that you have absolutely done that, and you know what success is.
Hey, Duane.
Yeah.
Dale asks how we receive a pallet while we're on the road. If people aren't aware, you can accept freight at UPS freight depots, and they will hold it at the depot for you. And that's what we do. And And most of the guys have been great. They helped break the pallets and put them into our pickup. So receiving the pallets, no problem at all.
That's
I might
awesome.
also point something else we're doing. Let's see if I can get a picture for you. Where is it? That little unit there is a 3D printer. And I sell private label products on Amazon that I print myself.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's crazy.
There's no competition. Uh-oh.
Are you selling like Jegos? You know, the Jerry Lego. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, just printing up your own little Lego. Hey, there you go.
But so just to elaborate that on Jerry, are you actually, so you're sending to the UPS distribution center and then just going there and picking it up? They're holding it for you?
At a freight center, at a freight depot.
Center.
There's a difference between a UPS store and a freight depot.
Right.
And if you know it's coming into the freight depot, you can call and ask them to hold it at the depot for you.
How long will they hold it for you?
That's a good question. I actually got there while the truck was still being unloaded.
Okay.
So, and that was an interesting story. I was talking to the manager at the depot, and by the time I was done, he offered his place for us to park our RV anytime we were in the area. So,
wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
there's ways around everything. Probably the toughest thing for us is finding a UPS place to drop inventory off when we're out in the boonies. Burley, Idaho, it's a truck stop. For the UPS trucks, you get a half-hour window, and that's it, to be there and drop your stuff off.
Wow, that's tight.
So, but yeah, that's a logistics thing. You work around it.
Yeah, I've had wholesalers that ship in, different companies. I've had a couple of them. Estes is one that comes to mind, and then there was another one, and the name slips my mind right now. But the wholesaler said we can ship to Savannah, and you just pick it up there for X amount of dollars. Just put a number on it, $300. But if they're going to use a lift gate and come to your residential location and drop off, it's going to be another $150. So you're looking at $450 if we bring it to you, $350 if you want to go to Savannah and pick it up. And I said, yeah, just have them hold it at the location in Savannah. So it's not just UPS. I've done it with a couple of different companies, and neither one of them were UPS, where they just let me pick up at their location, and it was no big deal at all. And it saved me a lot of money. I'd rather spend $20 in gas and go pick it up myself than pay $150 for them to drop it off to me. So,
yeah. And that's something that we've done is ask that they hold a pallet at their warehouse. And if we arrange ahead of time if we're traveling through that area, and have them hold a pallet at the warehouse and pick it up myself. No shipping.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great point. See, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there truly are no excuses in this business. If you want to live a certain lifestyle, it's there for you. Alan, I know you're a hiker, man. You want to go climb the mountains next year? Go do it. Just find a way to have your inventory hitting the warehouse while you're gone.
Hey, the more wholesalers I open up, the better, right? That's the whole plan.
Yeah, and I'm seeing wholesalers that actually advertise on their website. We ship. They call it drop shipping. The one that like blatantly displayed it. They said we do drop shipping, and really it's not drop shipping. They ship direct to Amazon for you. I mean, I wish they would change the name because drop shipping has kind of a different connotation the way we talk about it. But yeah, it's direct to Amazon shipping. So it's becoming much more prevalent, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So. Yeah, so here we sit with our 2-car garages, and I talked about it a little bit in the pre-show, but I'll touch on it again. I've got bicycles in the garage, and just the basic tool like workbench kind of stuff and shelves and all that. That takes up basically half of it, and then the other half is where my wife used to park, and I still have delusions that she will someday park in the garage again.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, she hasn't parked in there since like last October, I think, because I got into wholesale, and when you receive a pallet, which is only about 4 feet by 4 feet, but still, it's got to go somewhere. And then you don't really necessarily send it all in at once. It kind of depends on the product, but we do keep some of it behind, and you send it in over time, and then you order other pallets and you send those over time. So I've got like stocks of goods in there. And then you have your RA that's coming in. Yesterday, UPS showed up, or FedEx showed up with 20 boxes that were ridiculous sized from Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, they could have used, they needed about 14.
Did it only have like 1 or 2 pieces in each box too?
Yeah, 2 pieces in each box.
That. Yeah.
You know, it really would have taken about 14 with the size boxes that they sent if they had done it right. But still, they sent 20 boxes altogether, or 21. It was ridiculous. It was, you know, it was almost stacked to the ceiling. And I'm just looking around going, man, I need a warehouse. This just isn't cutting it anymore.
Or you need to turn your inventory faster. Fast turn radio guy. Like, you just need to move that inventory faster. So
hey, I received
you can have a clean garage, right? I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah, I received it yesterday. I sent it today. I did the best I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's that is part of it, is making sure you have inventory that's going to move, going to sell. But you also just have to kind of think for a second. There's people in a lot worse situations, and I'm just whining. That's all it comes down to.
Basically. Yeah.
I'm just complaining about nothing.
Yeah. You know, we've used temporary. We've used temporary solutions. We've rented a storage unit for months just to handle larger quantities of inventory and keep it dry, and then done. You know, $50-$70, and we're out of there, and we're not committed long term on a warehouse. So there's ways around it all the time.
Yeah, there definitely are. And Matthew Kelly said, sorry about that, Duane. Yes, it was actually his fault. For any of you that have kind of listened over the last few weeks, months, whatever, I don't do a lot of OA. I don't have the patience for it. The only way I do is when somebody goes, go buy this. So Matt brought a deal to me, and he's like, hey, man, what do you think? I was like, sure. And I had it delivered to my house. Definitely should have sent that to his warehouse. That would have been a much better option. But, yeah, just the way it all came together made sense at the time to have it shipped to me until it showed up the way it did. But that's where networking comes in. I didn't have to find the deal. You know, Matt found the deal, knew that I could maybe work a little better price on it, and it all came together. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, Matt, I totally blame you. But man, is Leron still here? Is he in? I know he was here earlier. Leron, you still out? Yes, he is. Yeah, all right, Leron, you want to come on camera?
Sure. Let me look at my computer.
All right. So you got Alan and myself with the house and the 2-car garage, and you know, Matt Kelly, who has the warehouse. You got Jerry doing amazing things. I had no idea you were receiving pallets and 3D printing, PL, all that from the road. I mean, you're
a fifth wheel. I mean, come on, seriously, that's ridiculous.
It's insane. And I think in the middle, somewhere in the middle, falls the apartment FBA, or especially doing the OA and RA. I mean, anyone. I shouldn't say anyone. It is, in my opinion, easier to do maybe wholesale, where you can have it shipped to a packing company. But Leron, you are actually packing and shipping from your apartment, correct?
Yeah, I mean the shelving that you see right on my screen there. This is that's my bedroom.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm doing it from my 2-bedroom apartment. I started using Prep Service, so that helps so that I don't get like a ton of packages here. But yeah, I'm doing it for my 2-bedroom, and I mean, it's not that bad.
You got to be kidding. See, I get mad if I backed up the van to the garage today because I didn't want to have to walk from the back of the van all the way around into the garage. So I wanted like the 3-foot walk instead of the 12-foot walk.
Right. So I mean, the most annoying thing is getting things from my car, to the apartment. When I do a big RA shopping, especially if I buy like shoes and I have 100 pairs of shoes in my car, and I need to get those shoes up to my apartment. And my building doesn't. I rent a parking spot like behind the building, so I need to go from the car down to, the back of my building into the service area, get all this stuff in the elevator. Sometimes I have to do it in a few shifts of bringing bags, or I have kind of every New Yorker or person in New York City has these like shopping carts that when you buy groceries, you put them in and you take them up to your apartment. So I use one of those. Sometimes I'll take a box and I'll make a box outside, and I'll put the shoes in the box and I'll bring them in, So that's the most challenging part of it, but it's really UPS who has to do a lot of the annoying sort of, they have to take a lot of boxes and they do it through the elevator and first floor and all that. So
they actually come to your apartment and pick up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, my UPS guy's pretty nice, and
Does he have a nickname for you?
What's that?
Does he have a nickname for you?
He doesn't have a nickname, but sometimes he makes 4 or 5 trips, going up and down.
My UPS driver backs up my driveway, gets as close to my garage door as possible, and I hand him boxes, and I still feel guilty. I can't imagine.
No, I owe him a nice Christmas bonus,
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the reason I asked is Harvey has his UPS driver. I guess they have their morning meeting. And they're like, "Who's getting the ball breaker?" That's
really?
And then Goose is the Asian Walmart. That's what they've nicknamed him. And so I got to imagine the guy that's on a 5th floor apartment. You may not know it, but you have a nickname. I promise. You are well received in that break room.
No, I mean my guy's pretty cool. When I tell him sometimes I'll tell him if I have a lot of boxes, I'm like, tomorrow I'm not gonna have as many. He's like it's all right. It's my job. I'm not, he doesn't really complain about it, which is cool.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I'm like Alan. I mean, I feel bad. I take the boxes right up to the truck. If for some reason I can't back up, like today, I thought it was going to rain. So instead of stacking the boxes out in the driveway for him, I put them up under our eave. Well, when he pulled up, instead of letting him go get it all off the porch, I went and got the boxes and took them to him, and I still gave him a Coke at the end, even though I did all the work. I felt bad for him. I was just
I mean, the best I could do is hold the elevator door for him.
The open button.
Right.
Just keep your thumb on the button.
But I mean, it's the whole prep thing. I have a pretty big bedroom, so I kind of, one side of it is my prep area. I have a few tables here, and this is kind of where I prep.
And you sleep.
So your whole operation is out of your bedroom. You're not even using the living room.
Out of my bedroom.
Out of your bedroom. So you're prepping out of your bed. How many units are you prepping a week out of your bedroom?
I'm sending units. I mean, today I sent in at least 100 units of stuff. So
100 units out of a bedroom.
I mean, I do.
That's awesome.
I mean, I do probably several hundred units of items here a week. Besides, a prep. I wasn't using a prep center for some time, but I got so many. I started doing more Amazon flips, and you started ordering 200-300 of an item. I had boxes all over my living room. So
yeah,
dude, I just thought about some of the flips.
When I come home, my entire front door is blocked because the Amazon boxes are stacked up. So
yeah, Duane, that flip that we did, the Halloween costumes, I did that from here.
That's awesome. That was 143 units, I think.
Yeah. I had boxes all over the place.
And Amazon is just like Bed Bath & Beyond I talked about earlier. They'll send 1 in a box, 2 in a box. It's like, dude, please put 20 of these, 40 of them. Something, but yeah, it's
right. And I still get some stuff. Here, if I order shoes, if I'm not ordering from Amazon, I'm ordering shoes and clothing. I order here because New York City doesn't have a tax on shoes and clothing items under $100. Oh, wow. So I don't pay. I don't want to send it. I'm using Marianne in Central Wisconsin Prep. So I rather there's tax in Wisconsin, so I'll send those, here. So I still do, I still get stuff here, and I still get some Amazon flips here. But when I'm ordering in larger, quantities, I'm sending it to her.
That's awesome.
And
I just can't get past the idea of you pushing a cart and looking like a homeless guy.
Oh my
somehow
God.
Pushing all this stuff.
My neighbors are doing lots of shopping. Sometimes I tell them I sell this stuff, and sometimes I'm just look at them.
Zombies. You're preparing for the zombies. You gotta remember that.
I have a bag of bras, doing lots of shopping.
Women's shoes, bras. Dude, they're not thinking anything funny. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what people think when I'm walking around through Walmart or whatever with, everything that possibly is in my cart at any given time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You got the,
Yeah.
Yeah. The feminine.
And I never actually thought I personally would buy the crap that I buy. But, if it sells and it's profitable.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
All right, so let's move because we're about 20 minutes into it, so that's cool. Now we got a foundation of what Jerry's doing. We got what Leron's doing. We got what the spoiled two of us are doing.
Yeah, thank God.
Matt Kelly, and Eric Freud. I'm going to say his name wrong. I can't say last names. He said he has 3,300 square feet in his basement he refuses to use. That's spoiled. That is truly spoiled.
Use it.
But all right, so we've got the spectrum of people. But let's talk about what is necessary in Q4. If you guys, I would love your input. I know you guys, a couple of you. Leron, is this your first Q4? It is.
Yes.
Okay. Harry, I know you've been through a few. What would you guys say are the items that are necessary to spend money on? A couple of weeks ago, I did kind of a breakdown of if you take money out of your business at this time, this is what it's going to cost you. And at the time I did that Zoom, it was about 5 times whatever you took out. It'd be just compounding 50% returns anyway. If you didn't see it, go back and watch. It was a couple weeks ago. But that takes us to what is necessary. You do have to spend money in this business.
Duane, I think some, not to say something specific, but if there's something that can save you time, that's going to result in more money, then, I think that those are the kind of things that you need to consider.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to take budget into account. If you've got a $500 budget, you're going to do things differently than someone that has a $5,000 or $20,000 budget.
Right.
So, I think we just need to kind of take that as a given. And if anybody in the chat room has any specific questions, I know we've got some Q4 virgins that are in the chat room that have no idea what's going on. Some like Leron that have been around, even though you haven't been through a Q4, you've been around for a few months. And Alan, you're pretty much like somehow just barely missed Q4.
I'm a half virgin.
Yeah, so we won't get into
that.
It's supposed to be either you are or you aren't. But you're half pregnant. But anyway,
it's way more better to be half of it, right?
Okay, so for me personally, this is one that I'm going to throw out, assuming that you have, say, a $2,000 or more budget. Because if you don't have $2,000, you get nothing. You get no extra toys. You get nothing whatsoever. You just got to spend it on inventory. But a Dymo printer to me is $80 well spent to get your business efficient. Because you're right, Leron. To me, that's one thing that will give you your time back. And it either has to make you money or give you time, which allows you to make money. And to me, getting away from those stupid 30 up labels where you've got, 16 of something printed and then you've got to turn it around and do the other, or you print, say you've got 10 different items and 3 of each one. So now you've got a sheet of 30 and it's, 2 of these, 1 of those, 6 of those, 4 of those. Ridiculous. I would say a Dymo printer is worth spending money on. Thank you. I'm glad you grabbed one.
Life changing, but I mean, if you're doing, less than 500 units you're shipping a month, not such a big deal. So if you're doing less than 500 units a month, those 30 up labels, I mean, they work. They're not that big of a deal. It's not huge. But once you get over that 500, it's life changing for me. And maybe it would have been life changing below 500. But if you're on a budget, I don't know.
But aren't you wasting more money printing 10 labels on the 30 up page? And then, you're trying to you can't always reuse that page.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you process, right? So, when I first started, I would lay stuff out on my floor in this room. I had shelves all over. I looked like your bedroom, right? So right. I would lay stuff out on the floor, and then I'd get my shipments together. And when I was done, I'd print my 30 up labels, and then I would go through and label everything on the floor, and then I'd box it all up, right? So I wouldn't waste any labels.
Right.
And that worked really great for me. And I knew that I should have gotten a label thing. I mean, no question. And when I did, it was like I arrived in heaven and the angels sang and it was beautiful. But if you're on a budget, spend your money on product and deal with labels, right? I mean, if you have more money at the end of the month to spend, then buy a label maker. If you don't have more money to spend, use your 30X, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you another one that helped me was when Inventory Lab. I just read that in the thing. Sorry, Chris. Scam Power. I started using Scam Power. They put the fulfillment center on the label. And that, I didn't realize it until they did it, just how valuable that was. Because you went from having, okay, you print your 30 ups, which was ridiculous, but then you labeled all your stuff and you went back and had to check, okay, which one went where. And I actually counted, I was touching inventory like 4 and 5 times before it finally got ready to go. And then I got Scan Power and my Dymo, and it went, okay, I print a label and I put it in the box and I'm done. And that's where things just changed. And I've heard that Inventory Lab actually has a better listing system. I still use Scan Power. I love Scan Power List, but I've heard Inventory Lab listing is even better.
See, I have Inventory Lab, but I still use Amazon, so go figure.
Okay. You still go through Seller Central?
Yeah. I mean, I won't change that till January. There's no reason for me to learn something new right now.
You create a SKU in Amazon for each product?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a whole Excel sheet that I use, and it's awesome. I love it because I can see how many units I'm pushing out a month, how many units I'm pushing out a week, how many units I'm pushing out a month, and then I could calculate based on.
You'll save a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right. So we generally agree on the Dymo. What other services? What other groups, programs? What else is out there that you think people should be spending money on headed into Q4?
So we can go back to the listing software. We're using Inventory Lab because we can do everything in one spot. And we used to keep spreadsheets, separate Excel spreadsheets for the items that Alan just mentioned. Mm-hmm. And we do it all in Inventory Lab now, one-stop shopping. Simple, print as you go, throw them in the box, and we're done. We went from handling, like you said, items 3 and 4 times at a whack to handling them once. They come in, they go across Denise's desk, she lists them, they come to me, I throw them in the box, we're done.
Yeah, I totally agree. You got to have listing software.
You ask about groups and things like that, but I think the criteria for a paid group is the same for anyone. You know, if you're making more money from the group in a month than what you're spending on the group, then it's worthwhile. You know, both for somebody on a low budget and on a big budget. You know, if you're utilizing it.
Yeah, that's the key. Thank you. You freaking nailed it. Because somebody just threw out OA X-ray, which I have no thoughts about one way or the other. I tested it and it looked pretty cool, but I don't do OA. Why in the world would I pay for that service? You know, Scanner Monkey, I think, is a great group. I like just kind of hanging out in there and seeing what's going on. It used to be a BOLO group. Now it has discounts to where it pays for itself. You know, if you have App Eagle and you pay or you get the $150 a month deal, well, if you use the Scanner Monkey discount, 20% off, you're saving $30 a month. It pays for a year of Scanner Monkey, essentially. So I think there's some stuff that balances out, but it definitely comes down to what are you going to utilize? Because do not sign up for everything out there. If you are not doing OA, don't get OA X-ray. If you're not doing OA, don't get Cyber Monkey deals. You know, there are so many places to put your money. Make sure it's in the right place.
Craig mentioned a handheld scanner. That was definitely life-changing too.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to come up because I'm kind of torn on this one. Right, KDC 200 has come down to about $250 brand new. I've seen it in a couple of different places.
No, I was thinking the handheld scanner.
You're talking about the
the gun.
$20. There you go.
Yeah, exactly, right. And it took me a long time to buy one of those, and I finally did. That's pretty much looks like the one I bought right there that Jerry's got. I mean, those are awesome, life changing.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking about like the Scan Bob. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go down that road anyway because I started.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
That's
so $250. I bought mine probably too early because I spent $400 on the scan on the KDC and $100 on the glove. I put $500 into this stuff in November of 2013, I think it was now. Totally the wrong time to unplug $500 out of my business, but it did speed up my processing. Now, yeah, did it speed it up enough to make up the difference in what I paid? Probably not. So anyone that thinks, hey, I'm getting started today and I need to have a scanner, whether it's a scan fob, a KDC, whatever, there are plenty of $1 million sellers scanning with their phones.
I still scan with my phone. I still use the Amazon app. I still do. I have a KDC. I'm waiting for a new battery, but I probably will use it, but I'm going to use it for something very specific.
Yeah.
And I know all the reasons why I should use my KDC, but it's just not that much of a difference, really, to me.
It was for me, but
Me too.
not $500 worth. You know, is it worth $250?
But if you're doing books though, at book sales and stuff, and
That's the reason why I'm buying it. Yeah.
the last week of December, early first week of January are two big book weeks, and I can scan 10 to 15 times faster than my wife can using a phone. And when you're at a book sale, the faster you scan, the more you make.
Yeah, totally agree. Book sales, it's got to be a
Hello.
Yeah, you're there. You're just a little guy.
You're kind of there.
Yeah.
You broke up a little bit, but we got the message. Yeah.
Yeah, Harvey said, convince me on the KDC. I can't, Harvey, I'll talk to you later. You've
Books. I think that's right there is the big thing. I never even knew, Amazon's known for books. I don't really sell books on Amazon. But then I talked to somebody that was doing quite a bit in used books. And I thought, really? You're doing that much? So here's what I did. I spent 45 minutes. I scanned a bunch of books. I bought 4. I sent them in, all with, over 1 million rank, all used books. And 2 of them sold within a week. And I'm like, okay, well, I should look at this a little bit more. Am I going to do it, or is somebody else going to do it for me? Probably, but that's where that KDC really comes into play for me.
I think for me and for Harvey, who wants to be Harvey Specter, who wants to be convinced of using it. I think once you use it, you'll see tremendous amount of difference in how long it takes to scan an item. When you're using a scanner, you just boom right there, you get the data. When you use the camera, it's an extra 2-3 seconds until it pops up. And once you see the difference, you see the difference. Yeah. You can scan a lot more items really quickly. The other thing also is sometimes there are items that are, under the shelf or whatever. I can go with the glove like that and point it to the number if it's higher up or whatever. I don't have to get the actual product to scan it.
Yeah, try to contort your body to get the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll tell you personally, maybe it's just because I am getting old, but seriously, I noticed my eyes weren't as tired at the end of the day. I got tired of sitting there with looking at my stupid phone and watching it focus in and out on barcodes. I got the KDC.
And it is slower. No question.
Awesome.
If you scan with a KDC, it picks up the barcode instantly versus the camera going in and out. It's no question. You do not have to use the glove to use it.
No, I use the glove, but some people I know do like a Velcro to the back of their phone or something, or use it somehow by sticking it on their phone. But I use the glove.
Yeah, I like the glove. But yeah, you can Velcro it to your phone. They actually have a case if you have an iPhone where it has like a little holder built into the bottom of it. So there's a lot of options. Okay, some other must-haves. Somebody mentioned it in the chat room, and I totally agree. UPS pickup. As much as I thought it.
That is such a life changer. Oh my God.
I wish I could use it.
Yeah.
They have to find me.
Yeah.
You have to give them GPS coordinates.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leron, any thoughts on that? Is it worth the $10 a week?
Absolutely worth the money. Yeah. If you're, if you're shipping out, a couple boxes a week, if you're doing it very, very part-time, maybe you don't need it, but if you're shipping out, a few times a week and you're shipping out at least, or every day, and you're shipping out 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes, UPS pickup.
And it's free for your first year. So, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. I somehow screwed up and could not get the free plan.
I didn't get it either.
Something about my account was already established and it was set up this way. So whatever. I am
like $10 a
week. Yeah, it's $10.40 a week.
Right.
Take my $42, $41, whatever that comes out to. Cool. I'm good with it. It is money well spent. The hassle of having to run to the store by 5 o'clock to make sure I make the pickup, whereas I can just sit there at my house packing. I have my driver's number, so I can call him, hey, Danny, when you coming in? And it might be 4 o'clock in the afternoon is kind of normal, but when he's running late, he'll let me know. I'm not going to be there till 7. I'm like, sweet. That's some extra time that I can get in to get more product out.
That's huge. That's huge. My driver comes at 3:30, so my day ends at 3:30. I take a break. I do something. I either go back out to RA or I start buying online or whatever. But it was. I didn't think it was going to make such a huge difference for me, but it was huge. Definitely huge.
Yeah, and
okay, my turn to whine.
Yeah. Hang on. I'll let you whine in just a second, but I want to address the question. She said, but all you need is your UPS person's phone number. They will pick up. Ellen, I agree with you. And I hate to say it because I am on the record. I did that. Hey, Dan, he said, I'm driving through your neighborhood pretty much any given day. Just let me know. And if I was stopping him once a week or, once every couple of weeks, because I still did most of my own drop-offs, even though he told me I could do that. Once I started getting to where I was needing pickups pretty much every day, that's not okay, in my opinion. That's just me. I was like, okay, I'll call him in a pinch here and there, but when it became I need pickups all the time, pay the $40. Don't put his job at risk because he's doing you a favor by stopping to pick up. He's not really supposed to do that. Yes, if you flag him down on the side of the road, they will stop and pick up your packages, but we know that's not really what's happening. So, again, it's your call, but understand you're putting his job at risk, and it may not be worth it for the $40 a month. Just do it straight up legit. I should have done it a long time ago. That's my story on that, my opinion, whatever. Take it for what it's worth. Now, Jerry, go ahead and cry that you don't have UPS pickup.
That's what I was going to say is I don't have UPS pickup. But I was going to say a time saver we've discovered is use a UPS customer center for drop-offs rather than a UPS store, because the store is doing so many other things, and if they got a bunch of customers in there, you're going to wait. Customers are much faster.
Yeah, you know what else? Agus told me that when he drops off at the center, it actually gets delivered quicker than if he takes it to the UPS store. That it'll be overnight instead of 2-day shipping to some of his warehouses.
I've seen our stuff go straight onto the truck from the counter.
That's amazing. We don't have one near here, so I don't know anything about it. But yeah, it sounds incredible.
So you do have to talk about the thing that I started using. It's been about 2 weeks that I put off for like a year, but I think you put off for at least 2 years, right? The labels.
Oh, the free labels?
The free labels. I mean, seriously? Holy cow. That was amazing. So you used to box the piece of paper around the thing. And so when you're late, the UPS driver is waiting for you and you're boxing UPS labels and, whatever. Those labels are amazing too. That's a life changer for sure.
Yeah, get free labels, guys. And that honestly, that's when I totally got over should I get free labels or not, because we all know we don't really ship through UPS. We're getting extreme discounted rates through Amazon. There's really no compensation on UPS's end when we get free stuff because we're not using their shipping.
Yeah, but they're still making money on your shipments.
They are.
Yeah. Don't think for a second that Amazon rates are not based on everything they ship and then everything the FBA sellers ship too.
That could be.
It is absolutely the case.
I will say this. Once I started paying my $40 for UPS pickup, it took me about 5 minutes to make that phone call. I got my first invoice. I was like, oh, bump this. I'm getting some free labels. Because while it is money well spent, then I was like, hey, I'm paying you guys every week, every month. Yeah, I'll take that free stuff. Don't anyone have that dilemma, because you're right, Alan. They're building in those fees they're building in the cost into their fees. So
I've run out of labels before And at a drop-off at a service center, you mentioned to the people there, and real often they'll hand you labels right out of their own printer.
Oh, fantastic. Had no idea.
Yeah, they're not supposed to, but they do. It's the same label.
Yeah, so okay, so let's take this another step further. So we got some of the luxury stuff, right? The Dymo, the scanners, whether it's the barcode or the handheld, whatever. But what's necessities? And somebody said a digital scale. Yes, get off your bathroom scale. $25. I was out in the garage. I have my backup scale out in the garage. $25. It's not perfect, but it works. For $40, you can get a great scale from Sam's. Like I have the DG200, the Royal DG200. It's
life changer. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I used a little eBay scale, so like an ounce scale. I think it only went to I don't think it went past 40 pounds. So I would guesstimate after that, which I was usually off on for quite a while. So, and then I was talking to somebody else that was getting an FBA, and we were talking about scales. I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally buy one. I'm like, wow, that's terrible. So I immediately got on Amazon, bought a scale, and changed my life.
Yeah. Get a scale with a remote readout.
Yeah, a battery operated, extended
battery operated
remote readout.
If the numbers are on the scale, like it's attached, it does you no good. Your box is going to cover it up. It's worthless. And Leron, should you have a backup scale by any chance?
I do. Now I have 2 scales.
Yeah. Do not go down in fourth quarter for even a minute because your scale went out, because you ran out of boxes. Whether you get free boxes or you pay for boxes, that's another one that I'm big on. I am a huge proponent of paying for supplies, like boxes.
Buy lots of stuff from Amazon. You get free boxes.
You can do that too.
That's true. I recycle a lot of Amazon boxes.
The boxes from Amazon are not big enough a lot of times.
Yeah, that's true.
I like to use large, or now a lot of times I'm using the extra large Home Depot boxes.
Yeah, the extra large. Those things are expensive.
Worth it. You're going to get more stuff in the box. Your shipping will be cheaper.
Okay.
On one box versus 2 boxes.
I ship a majority of medium boxes, and they're at 49 pounds, 50 pounds every time I ship them. So it just depends on what you're shipping.
Yeah,
another source of boxes that a lot of people don't know about are U-Haul stores. They now carry large quantities of small boxes. Are perfect for us at cheap prices.
I believe they ship also, don't they? Well, Jerry, you probably don't know, but
I don't know. I've not tried to ship with them. No.
Yeah, I think U-Haul ships for free. Yeah, there you go. Bob Willie, U-Haul ships for free for $50 orders, which is, nothing. I mean, this time of year, you guys got to have lots of boxes. You do. I kind of touched on this a few weeks ago, but I think it's worth reiterating. Do not run out of supplies. Whether it's the craft paper you use, bubble wrap, I don't care what you use as dunnage. Have about 6 times what you normally have on hand. Don't worry. If you don't use it right now, it'll get used eventually. It's not going to go bad. Boxes are not going to go bad. Have lots of boxes. Have backups on this stuff. Those are the things that I think are absolutely vital. Scale, Scotty peelers. I'm not going anywhere without Scotty peelers.
You know what? Scotty peelers, so I had to order these Scotty peelers 3 times for them to actually show up to my house.
Got an extra one.
They never actually showed up, and I still have yet to use them in over a year. So
what's wrong with you? Do you not do RA? I mean, I know you do.
I do a ton of RA. I'm just saying that you don't have to have the Scotty peeler if you don't have one.
Wait, what? You just got a long?
I saw Harvey for a second there. He's here.
Yeah, he's coming. Harvey, you're welcome to join the conversation, man.
Come on, Harvey, jump in.
Scotty peelers in a heat gun. Now, I actually use an embossing tool. I shouldn't have this stuff, and I don't because it's all out. I used to be able to grab. I do this show, and I just grab stuff because it was all right here in my office. But since I've expanded to the garage and sunroom that I now have an air conditioner in and all that good stuff because I am spoiled, I don't have it. But an embossing tool, if you look it up.
What is it?
It's made for arts and crafts, but it's basically a one-hand heat gun. Okay, so it's a lot smaller. Someone do the show. You guys take over. I'm going to go grab it. I'll show it to you.
Okay, sounds good.
This is what I use. It's a modeler's iron. And you heat the label real quick. These are available from any hobby store. They're awesome. I use it with the Scotty peeler. This is an old Scotty peeler. Now they probably get nicked and worn over time. Sharpen it on the back of your strip knife. Works great. Those are the only two items I use for stickers.
What do you have to say, Harvey?
I said I'd have to order a box of Band-Aids if I was going to use that metal thing.
Yeah.
Threw all mine out.
I use mine every day. I haven't cut myself.
I have cut myself and I have burned myself.
I mean, I also use the Scotty peeler to open boxes.
There you go.
Box cutter.
Yeah, I don't use any of that crap. I use a hair dryer. I rarely even use a hair dryer though. It's a rarity.
How do you take off labels or?
I have these nails on my hand, and it's not that difficult. I don't see it. I mean, every once in a while it's an issue.
Do you remember when you got UPS pickup and how life changing that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop using your fingernails. You'll figure it out.
I have them right here. They're here, but I don't see the.
Once you use them,
out of the bag yet.
Once you use them, you will understand.
I mean, I find no use for the plastic ones, but the metal one is good.
See, I use the plastic ones. I'm afraid of that metal one.
Really, I just make sure I'm doing it in direction opposite of my, other hand that's holding it.
Yeah, then I get in a hurry and end up cutting my thumb off on both hands.
Yeah, so that's no good. That's no good.
No.
Yeah, I'm all about the plastic ones. Somebody actually told me that their daughter got a hold of the metal one and just in the blink of an eye ended up going to the emergency room for stitches. And so that's when I threw mine in the trash. I was like,
you should have used glue gun.
You should talk about your pricing gun, Duane, mostly because I've still yet to buy one, even though I do a ton of grocery.
I should have grabbed that too.
Wait, what's embosser?
Here's a heat gun. Yes, thank you, Leron. Here's a regular heat gun. Okay, not bad. I mean, you can maneuver it. Here's an embossing tool. And this is an embossing tool made by Doris. There we go. I think it was like $12 on Amazon. Doris heat tool is what they call it, but it's just one hand. So what I do is I hold this in my left hand and I use the right hand with the Scotty peeler, dude, and labels just come off like butter. It's ridiculous.
Like butter.
Yeah.
Except the paste label.
What's that?
Except paste labels on books. Older books have paste labels. Heat has no effect on them.
Okay, I don't do books. I'll take your word for it.
Do you find that it's a smoother, much easier to take off label?
Yeah, I think it's just, and if you look at and mine got bent up. This is the great thing about having team members that don't care about your stuff. You see they dropped it a few times.
Right.
It's got this big kind of end where this is more pointed.
I want to see the video where you have that thing and your Scotty peeler and whatever you're doing that catches on fire. I want to see that video.
Well, nothing caught on fire. I actually did on a Spreecast when I was on Spreecast. I did a live example of how to use your embossing tool and a Scotty peeler. It's life-changing.
All right.
So, Harvey, what's going on? What got you all excited to actually come on camera? Or did you talk about it already?
You know what? I'm going to have to be right back. I got to go bring my baby in out of the car.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
You got his baby in the car?
Don't worry, it's cold outside.
My wife just got home. I didn't leave the baby out there. Easy.
When things are taken out of context,
Yeah, so somebody mentioned, I think it was Darren that mentioned that Craigslist for boxes. So if you're on a budget and you want to save all your money for sourcing, you could get on Craigslist and moving boxes, and you can pick up all the moving boxes you possibly could use. And they're great. I mean, they're damaged, they're screwed up, there's tape all over them. Who knows? Rice falls out of them, all kinds of crap falls out of them. But if you're on a budget, you can make that work for sure, and you should.
Yeah, keep in mind, as long as it's intact and gets to Amazon, it'll work. I mean, I did some crazy little box configurations today. I had to, where you cut the flap in half because the product goes halfway up the flap. So if it's supposed to bend here normally and fold in, it was going up like this far. So I took my little scoring tool and, put another piece of cardboard down and taped the crap. Dude, there are ways around having nice pristine boxes.
Is they use a box sizer?
Yeah, the scoring tool, that's what I meant, box sizer.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that thing's awesome. To me, another investment that is worth the $15 or $20. I use that thing all the time. And just
talk about your pricing gun.
All right, pricing gun. crud. Be right back.
You know what? You should put a list together on Fast Turn Radio on Facebook of all these tools.
I can show a tool while you're getting that.
Yeah. All right. Go get your pricing gun, Duane.
You got your own pricing gun?
No, he says show something different.
No, I have. I can talk about a different tool while you do that.
Go for it.
This is a magic folder. If you do clothing, and you want to really put them nicely in poly bags, it's a miracle. It's called the miracle fold. You put the clothes here, and you can kind of fold it. I got that today, so we'll see how that works out.
I think I saw something mentioned on Threads and Treads on that.
That's why, yeah. You know what? That's why it was in the file section of Threads and Treads.
Yeah, I saw that today, and I'm like, huh.
And
yeah.
I just got it today.
I'm sure it'll make a huge difference.
For those that asked, I got it on Amazon. You can go look up the Miracle Fold. I think it's $19.95 or something like that.
It's cheap, yeah.
Yeah, and I tested it. It works. It works pretty well. I don't know if Duane's back. Duane, this is if you're doing clothing. If you can hear, this is the Miracle Fold. I don't know if you've seen it.
Duane, do you use the Miracle Fold?
No, but I know David Diedrich does. He's one of the admins of Threads and Treads, and
I got it today.
Yeah. So if you're doing a lot of folding, then I think you're onto something with that. All right, pricing guns. Here's the one I use, and I want you to notice this label. See how it says Best Buy? And then I've got this one. See, I've actually got two. See how it's got little blank labels? You know, when you have to cover up barcodes? Yeah, there's nothing like just going down the line. And then, of course, you go back and you have to put in your date code. So I actually have two. That's right. That's how spoiled I am. I have one with blank labels to cover up barcodes. I have one with expiration labels to do my groceries.
So, Duane, how is that a lot faster? Like when I don't do a lot of groceries, so I don't have that. But I just on my Dymo, I go to the Dymo app, and I just print labels, Best Buy, whatever.
Okay. Say you've got a case of whatever or a lineup. Okay, it doesn't save you any time if you have one or two of something. But say you've got 20 of an item with the same expiration date, you line them all up, and it's just as simple as.
Right.
It's like you're a grocery store already.
Yeah.
How much do they cost, Duane?
This one's I think 45, maybe 50.
$45.
But I've used my father-in-law has the little cheap like $9 one, which I guess works, but I didn't. I like this one. You kind of get what you pay for, and again, I just spoil myself. So I like that one. But yeah, when you can just like go down the line and hit those labels versus a sky. I mean, it drives me nuts even when I have to label something and I have 100 of them to peel it off each time and stick it down. Again, it's just a time thing. That's all it comes down to.
You have people asking for like an itemized list for all these different items, and I told them that you already promised that you were going to put this on.
Oh yeah,
on the Facebook page.
No, feel free to post it. That's cool.
You were going to do it. I said that Duane was going to post this.
Wait, post all affiliate links to all the products.
Oh yeah, it's totally affiliated. Yeah, I'm going to get 8% on everything you buy. So that's why I sell the 40.
Wow.
That's why I sell the $45 gun. You know,
right?
Yeah.
Not really. But yeah, I think I have a list actually in Scan Power University because I did that as one of the modules of tools that you need. So yeah, I can grab it.
I want to get that embossing tool.
Yeah,
I think that'd be valuable. I think you should throw it up there. You know, but if you have more, but that's only if you have more money at the end of the month. You know, at this time, like if you don't have more money at the end of the month, don't buy all this crap.
Yeah, we've kind of drifted into the luxury side of things where I wanted to kind of stay with the what you need. So what you need a scale. I think you need
poly bags.
Poly bags are a must. Unless you're my brother-in-law who goes through like the stretch wrap. He stretch wraps everything. Like, dude. And he does it like in 8 layers. I'm like, are you trying to make sure this thing's waterproof, bulletproof? What is the deal with this?
And it's commingled, right? So when somebody gets the product from me, they think it's you, right? Because there's so much shrink wrap around it.
You realize you're going to get a negative feedback because the customer cannot open their shampoo, right? I mean, there's frustration free on this side of things, and then there's the way you package on the other. I mean, it's just total opposite. It's ugly. But it gives me something to pick on them about. But yeah, so self-seal poly bags are my favorite. You need some poly bag.
Somebody's asking in the chat preferred size of poly bags. So, I mean, my advice is if you don't want to buy case packs from like Uline or Bubble Fast, then there are sellers on Amazon who sell like 100 of each type of bag, like a 6x9, 8x14, or whatever the different sizes are from like small to larger, which is what I did in the beginning, and then after that I ordered case sizes.
Yeah, Bubble Fast.
14 by 20 is the work.
Pack of like 4 or 5 sizes for each or something like that.
I use one size, 16 by 20.
Okay.
Not big.
Just order them in.
Dude, yeah, that's a big bag.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's perfect for toothbrushes.
Wow.
You're as bad as my brother-in-law with his stretch wrap.
Oh my god.
Duane, maybe you can tell what size these are. I'm not sure, but these are kind of the most popular ones I use.
14 by 20, I probably use about 40% of the time.
A little bit smaller, and this is like 8 by 11 by 14 maybe.
The ones I use are 6x9 rarely. Those are little. Those are very small.
I use those more than anything else. That's funny.
And it depends what you sell. Yeah, when I sold toothpaste and deodorant, oh my God, I use 6x9s. They were my number one thing. But okay, so 6x9 is very small. 8x10 is a little bit bigger, serves a purpose. Depends on what I'm packing. I mean, I've gone through literally 100.
Covers about 90% of the books. That size does.
There you go. 9x12 is one that I use. And again, that's just a little bit bigger. 11x14, 14x20, 22x24, and then I have some 18x30s that I use very rarely. I would not suggest buying those.
And I found that on the really large bags, if you calculate the price that you're paying for a bag for like Uline or somebody like Uline, whoever you like to buy bags from, it's actually cheaper for that small amount of items to just have Amazon bag it.
That's probably true too.
So keep that in mind too.
Yeah, the 18 by 30s, I think were about 50 cents a bag. I mean, they were expensive. And
yeah, and that's what Amazon charges. So why would you bag it? Hello.
But yeah, 14 by 20 is definitely a big one. And I think I really think 8x10 is the one we use the most. But I promise you guys, everyone's going to have a different answer because it all depends on what you sell. That's it. There's no one right answer. So get the 100 pack, like the combo pack that Leron was talking about. I know Bubble Fest has a few different, like 4 sizes per pack. They have a small, a medium, and a large. So get whatever you think you kind of need, and then actually use them and reorder 1,000 each time you run out. That's what I would do. If you look at the price difference between 100 and 1,000, just order by the thousands.
And keep an eye on shipping costs for bags. Poly bags can be heavy, and I get where I order mine from. I get cut rate on shipping when I order more. Okay. So the more I order, the less the shipping actually costs me.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, Bubble Fast is free.
So where are you ordering from? I mean, you don't have to keep it a secret, Jerry.
Oh no, I order all my my shrink wrap. All comes from Durapack on eBay.
Okay.
And my poly bags I actually get out of a guy out of Arizona, and I haven't bought any from him in like a year because I bought so many, so I don't even remember where it was.
Yeah.
All right. We are right at 9 o'clock. Does anybody care about the road to 500K?
Yeah, we want to see your numbers.
Aren't you already there?
The numbers.
We're secretly hoping that you're going to screw up and just show us all your inventory so we can capitalize on it. That's what everybody's on this call for, really, Duane. So you got to show us the numbers.
Harvey, why don't you show them what real numbers look like, dude?
Yeah, Harvey, show us your numbers. What do you got?
Or you haven't done it yet?
I'm on my phone. That's going to be hard.
Just do a screen share or something.
How the hell do you do that?
I don't think you can on your phone. I don't think you can.
Don't worry about it.
All right, hold on. I'll send you some numbers, Duane.
All right. I'll get this brought up real quick. We will blow through this because we are right at an hour already.
Duane, aren't you at 500,000 already?
No, I'm not at 500,000. I'm at like 345, I think.
Well, it sure seems like you're at a 500,000.
I should be at a 500,000, but I took like 6 months off.
Exactly. I'm like,
That's what I
what
did.
you're doing a month now, you should be already there killing it.
Well, yeah, that's because I was doing like 20,000 a month, earlier in the year until about June after I met up with Matt and Todd and Goose, and then you guys showed me I had to actually go to work for a living.
Wait, we're supposed to be working?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't really feel like that, does it?
I think it's fun. I shipped in the rain the last 2 days outside.
Oh, that stinks. I hate rain.
We had fun.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't enjoy the rain. Right.
Better than being hot or cold.
No, that's why you have air conditioners. I've got an air conditioner in the sunroom. I'm going to put a heater in the garage. Just depends what time of year it is as to where I work. But
I bought an auxiliary garage today.
They do.
I just follow the nice weather.
That is the best answer. All right, screen share.
I'm really supposed to be sending you something?
We're all breathless with anticipation.
No, you can just
reveal.
Yeah, let's see how bad I can screw this up. All right, everybody see my inventory?
It's toast.
All right. So we're running 7-day at 14.5, 15-day at 33, 30-day at 62,890. So almost 63,000 for 30-day. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's looking decent. I'm happy with that. I am definitely not complaining.
Mexico is still kicking butt for you. I can see.
Mexico and Canada are running neck and neck for us. All right, let's get into the business reports. All right, having a good day. That's cool. 2,400 on the day. So shoot, we might be at 57,000. I know it's been close for the month.
Is that Halloween candy over there in grocery?
Oh yeah, and some of this is inflated because I'm blowing through my Halloween candy. Some of it I am actually doing really well with, and some of it is total junk that I'm selling basically at cost. So I'll take a loss on it after fees because Halloween's
been a disaster.
Yeah, I did well on some, did poorly on others, but yeah, that's why you see the grocery so high.
Wait, what's a disaster?
My Halloween candy.
Candy?
Yeah, the Halloween candy.
An absolute apocalypse. Horrible.
All right. So yeah, you see on the day kind of our top selling categories, which toys is way down today. We've only sold 4 toys. That's crazy. So that's like our number one category overall. But health and personal care coming on strong. Anyway, let's get to the month to date real quick. Yeah, 59,235. Okay, we're way past 57,000. We're almost, so we're going to hit 60. That's cool. Anytime we can do $2,000 a day for a full month, I'm a happy camper. Compared to the 12,000 that we did the same period last year. So that's a little bit of an improvement.
Duane, is your health and personal care mostly RA or is there wholesale in there?
I don't believe I have any wholesale health and personal care. So it is
RA.
100% RA. Yeah. If I'm wrong about that, it's not by much. There may be something that's just not clicking right now, but I think it's all RA. Most of this is, I've got some things that are wholesale, but the big bump in our sales is really because of RA. That's why I wanted you on here to talk about doing this stuff out of an apartment. I had no idea you were on the 5th floor, but I wanted Jerry to talk about doing it from a motorhome. There are no excuses. There are no reasons that you can't have the same kind of numbers or even better. Go do Harvey numbers. Perhaps forget what I'm doing. Get out there and actually do it. Because our wholesale was running about $10,000 a month, and I think it still is. But then all the extra is coming from these other sources, whether it's the OA flips where Leron is gracious enough to hit me up, or some of the leads that Alan's given me. Harvey has been invaluable in the Young Guns, and my other mastermind group, we work really well together on a lot of projects. So it all comes together. That's networking is the number one reason my numbers are where they're at. But anyway, so RA has been a big boost in all that. Oh, thank you for whoever's writing on the screen. That's awesome.
I would totally do that, but I don't know how. I can draw like like smiley faces on there just for the hell of it. But yeah.
I think it's I don't know. There's some little button. I forget what they call it. Dude, my mind is shot tonight. All right, I like doing the year to date actually through the true year to date, year over year, so you can kind of see where things are. So we're almost at 350 for the year. So no Harvey, nowhere near 500, but we will be. I don't see any way outside of getting suspended that we don't make it. And if that happens, you just deal with it, I guess. But last year at the same time, we were at 112 and we finished at 215. So last year we did 100,000 in the same exact time that we have left this year. There's no way we don't do 150 between now and then. We just have so much more inventory, so much stronger of a network. It's just there. So anyway, then you see toys are the number one category at just over 79,000, grocery at 62, kitchen at 38, and on down the line. So any questions anybody has, I will be more than happy to answer. Otherwise, that kind of gets you updated on the road to 500K, and you can see where things stand. And all right, I'm not seeing any questions. So,
Duane, I have a question for you.
What, man?
Now that obviously you're going to smash the 500K.
Yes.
When you set that goal, did you set it like high as in this is like a pie in the sky achievement, or
Oh yeah, totally.
Something you thought was realistic?
No, I didn't even set it. As a matter of fact,
I've heard of the story. I just was it Michael Flanagan said?
Yeah, it was Michael Flanagan in my other mastermind group that said, "Hey, we're all going to do 500,000 this year." I said, "Well, you're crazy, but why not?" You know, and this was like maybe November, probably December. Everyone gets all jazzed up in December, right? I mean, the sky is the limit in December. So if you think about it, I did 215 last year, and he's like, we're going to do 500,000. I was like, all right, let's do 30,000 a month from January to October, and then do 100,000 in November and December each, and we're there. You know, it's a done deal. Look great. It didn't play out anything like that at all, but yeah, it was Michael's idea. I thought it was totally ridiculous, other than I'll try it. And then seriously, when I met Matt and Todd, and here's two guys that came out of nowhere all talking about, yeah, we did 100,000 this month. It's like, dude, that's not possible. It's like April. Nobody does 100,000 outside of Q4. It's just that doesn't happen. And especially for someone who hasn't been doing this for hardly any time at all. And they were like, well, I don't, you know.
That was their first April.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's ridiculous. And, you know, so we're standing there at the conference, and Matt pulls out his phone, and I forget, it was probably 4,000 or 5,000 that he did that day. I was like, what are you selling? He's like, I don't know. Here, take a look. And he starts scrolling through, and it was just stuff. It's the same stuff that we all sell. He just sells a heck of a lot of it. You know, there was no, oh my God, that's it. It's, you know, I know Leron knows a lot about high-end electronics. I mean, that is one way to push a big number really quick. And it's not like they were doing that. It was, you know, just stuff, day-to-day, ordinary stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
His ASP is like 22. It's not like it's.
Yeah, it's just the same thing that everybody kind of sells. Just you, Todd, Goose, you guys just sell a ton of it. It's insane. So, and you guys are the only reason I think $1 million's even possible. You know, there's no way I thought it would even be in the realm of possibility. And now Matt hit $1 million, a week ago or so. We're not even in Q4. He's over $1 million. I'm like, holy cow, that's not possible. You're sitting right at $1 million. Did you hit it yet?
Yeah, I'm way over $1 million.
Okay.
I'm probably 20 grand over.
Jeez, man, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, how do you do $1 million without Q4? And for anyone that's new, we're not in Q4. Don't let the calendar dictate when Q4 is. Q4 is right around Black Friday to December 22nd. You know, and it carries on a little bit into January. It doesn't like just die right then, but yeah, we're not in Q4 yet. Anyway, Yeah, okay, Matt. I saw somebody say now I'm at 1.1. I was like, who is that? Yeah, it's Matt. Okay, so Matt's at 1.1.
He's done about 100 grand in the last 4 days.
Yeah, he beat my month. I hopefully he doesn't care. He beat my month last. You guys saw it just a minute ago, right? 11.9. That's what I did last October, the whole month. Matt beat that yesterday. Dude did over 12,000. I don't know where he ended up. He might have done 15 for all I know. 13.9. He did 13.9 yesterday. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, when you see stuff like that, and Goose is like, yeah, I'm having a pretty good day, and throws up $7,000. And Harvey, you've done it multiple times yourself. It just shows you what can be done. But it goes back to working hard enough and smart enough, and the networking, and it all comes together. There's, Jerry is living his dream, which is awesome. And I respect you highly. I love the fact that you know what you want and you're doing it. And it's not $1 million.
For you, Jerry.
What's that?
That's awesome. He's subsidizing his retirement and gas money and play money through Amazon. How awesome is that?
Yeah, one of the best new sellers I have seen. She said, I have no intention of quitting my day job. I just see better returns on Amazon than I do on my 401k. So I've decided to start putting my money there. I was like, cool, and she is a natural at this. She is hitting numbers like in month 2 that I didn't see in the first year. I mean, it's just, and she's nailing it. So it's incredible. And I love the fact that people know what their goals are and they're able to accomplish those, because too often we get caught up in what other people are doing and we don't take time to understand what we need to do for us. So
somebody asked about, are we tracking the net profit?
Yeah, did they?
Yeah. And I think that's a valid question. I think there's a lot of talk about sales and these big numbers, and then no really thought about profit. So I think everybody.
I think we all think about profit.
You can't do
we're all trying to make money, right?
You can't do $1 million a year in sales and not go out of business at some point if you're not making money. You can't keep buying stuff, right? I
don't know about that. There's plenty of businesses that do over $1 million in sales that don't make that much money. But I think everybody on this call is here to make money. That's the whole point, right? And it's different for everybody. So, but we all track it, I would assume.
Yeah, I know what my profits are. I just don't share it publicly.
Yeah.
But I do say, after Amazon fees, our profits run about 20%, and after everything is calculated, it runs about 15%. You see what my numbers are, you can do the freaking math if you care to figure out the profits. But, am I going to say, yeah, on this 30-day sales that we've now done $62,000, my exact profit on those exact sales? No, I'm not taking the time to break it down. I'll let you know flat out. I can take a screenshot in 3 seconds. I can post that in 10 seconds. For me to sit there and break down the profit on that 62,000, that's what irks me. I'll give you estimated percentages, but I am not going to tell you the exact profit because I'm not taking the time to figure it out because I don't care. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I know where my profits run. And
where I actually care. So I know exactly what my sales are, what my profits are, because I care. I want to know.
I'll look at the end of the month.
But I also use a program to figure that out. I don't do it on my own.
Okay. Yeah, I look at the end of the month. I see where it all lines up, and I go, cool. It's in that range of 17 to 22% off the top and runs somewhere between 15 and 17%. I just use 15 because I shoot the low end. That way everybody can be happy when they go, oh, your profits suck. Yeah.
Right.
I just keep it on the low end and say 15% is our overall profits. It fluctuates a little between that and about 17%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good enough for me. So Alan, is that you? No,
it's the other Alan.
The other Alan. Yeah, profit on 500,000 is 75 a year. And if we hit 600,000, which I think we will, that's 90,000. It's not hard, guys. But if you want to doubt it, that's cool. There's plenty of people running around going, oh yeah, you're just pushing money. And Harvey had the best answer on that out there. And dude, can you come back on camera and give your answer? I don't want to paraphrase and screw it up. The whole Facebook celebrity.
I said, people were thinking we were working for free. I said, I live on credit card rewards points and being a Facebook celebrity or something. I don't even remember it.
Yeah,
KID's the one I remember.
we all quit our jobs to live off credit card points and post big numbers to be Facebook celebrities. Yeah, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
what
a
I know-
narcissistic thing.
I don't know my exact profits for a month, but I know I have enough to pay my bills, and I'm not one of the people on here has to be here right now. I mean, it's 9:30. We're doing this for fun, so we're doing the right thing for a living. If we're all sitting here, voluntarily on an internet chat talking about our business, we've already worked at 8, 10, 12 hours today. I feel like I'm in the right place.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of money to be made if you want it. It's sitting right there for you.
Yeah, and that's one of the big reasons I'm doing the Road to 500K. I want to show people what it takes to sell 500,000, and hopefully anyone that's watched has watched me go from 24,000 in January down to like 16,000 in February, and you see the ups and the downs, and I've explained it. So anyone can do this. There's nothing special about me, I promise. I used to think I was the smartest guy in the room. Thank God I figured out I'm not, and I surrounded myself with a lot smarter people, and it's worked out really
You probably are. You're the only one in the room.
What's that?
You probably are. You're the only one in the room.
That's the only time I'm the smartest guy in the room.
I'm the laziest guy, personally. I just want to be lazy. I don't really want to work at all.
Well, none of us, I don't think any of us work. Yeah, we work really hard. It's kind of cool. We just work really hard doing what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody today, and this is the last thing I'll throw out there, and you guys can have the last comment, but somebody today was talking about doing RA, and they wanted to get started on Amazon. And they said, but there's no stores around me. You know where I'm at. And they're in Vermont, and there's not a lot of stores. They're like, so, it's going to be tougher for me to do it here in Vermont than it is for you where you're at. I said, really? Because how far is Boston? Well, it's about 3 hours. Well, that's cool, because I drove 3 hours last weekend. Drive. Go do it. Stop sitting there. And that's the attitude. And I said, if that's going to be your attitude, I'm getting off this phone because you're wasting my time. There is a way to make this business work. So that's the work part. Yeah, maybe you don't want to drive 3 hours, but go do it. Hopefully you put on a podcast or something. You enjoy the ride. Enjoy the drive time. Jerry loves to drive. It's what he does all the time. So have fun with this business. Find which part works for you, and just exploit it. Exploit the fun and make the money. That's what I think we're all doing. All right, you guys, final thoughts. Throw some stuff at some of the newer people, because about this time next week, we should really start seeing Q4 start to ramp up. You're going to see the patterns. You're going to know what to start buying.
So, I mean, I'm supposed to start shipping the stuff I have in my house?
Yeah, you probably should. That'd be
Yeah.
More to work.
Oh, let me throw out Gomper's idea. Gomper said, if you're new to Q4, do not speculate. And I agree with that. Speculation, bad idea at most any level, but especially if this is your first Q4, your money is too valuable. If you're new at this business, you don't have a big bankroll, do not speculate. You guys.
I agree. If it's your first Q4, that means you don't have that much capital. So, well, some people could, I guess, but I mean, you should be turning your money over 2 or 3 times still before the madness even starts. You don't need to speculate. If you're buying stuff now to sell after November 30th and you just started, unless you got, a bunch of cash on the bench, I don't see that as what I would be doing.
There's
I'd be
plenty
trying
of
to make
product
30%.
you could buy right now that is selling right now.
Yeah, I'd be trying to make 30%. Then I'd be making 30% on top of that, and then, you already raised your stake by, 70% before you even hit the big selling time, rather than buying now for December.
And I just want to throw out, Alan, I appreciate you saying that, the Alan in the chat room. That is where I made my mistake last year. So, yeah, do not speculate. It's a bad thing to do. All right. Any other tips? We got just a couple minutes. What's your best tip? Jerry, go.
Don't leave any cash in the bank account this time of year. Spend it on inventory. Get it in there.
Excellent. Leron, what you got?
Maximize Q4. Don't look back and have regrets. Work hard.
Alan, last word, last tip. What you got?
Buy what's selling now, what's profitable now. Don't speculate. I agree with what you said. So there's plenty of opportunity out there with the products that are actually making money right now. Buy those, sell them, and make the money that way.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Thank you guys for joining us, and great insight. great conversation. I appreciate all of you being on camera. I would love to have more people on camera. I think this is more valuable than you guys listen to me just, sit here and spout crap for an hour. So listen to the people that have been there that are doing it better than I am. And you guys are definitely in that group. So thank you very much. And everyone that joined us live, how many people did we end up with? Anyone know? 59, 60, somewhere in there?
59,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's awesome.
See, if I'd actually said that you guys were going to be on, it'd be like 120, but they thought it was just me. So, surprise. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate everyone being here tonight, and we will see you next week for Fast Turn Radio, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.